Welcome back to Barry's Ballers. This is the show where I try and emulate the late great John Madden and finding NFL players each week that exhibit the following qualities.
But guys that are all champions, and if you were a player, you'd want to play with them. If you were a coach, you'd want to coach them. And if you were a fan, you'd want to watch them.
In case you didn't watch last episode, I'm looking for 5 players from the main 3 categories: offense, defense, and special teams. So let's get locked in, let's get our tape and our stats pulled up, and let's get right into it.
Winning has always been in his DNA.
Loyalty got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece got war and peace inside my DNA.
And we're not going to have to go far because our first defensive baller of the week is the first repeat baller in series history. I'm talking about Devin Lloyd, linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars and teammate of our last offensive baller, Trevor Lawrence. With the 99-yard pick 6 off of Pat Mahomes. What is going on in the defensive room in Jacksonville? What are they feeding these dudes? Absolutely insane. And he just had a 2-interception week last week. They got him on the list. I love watching Devin Lloyd play football. I really do. He also had a quarterback hit as well. He was getting around everywhere. That 1 interception absolutely deflated the Chiefs, ended up taking them over the top. If he don't make that play, they don't win this game. They would have lost the momentum battle and they would have just been in the dumps. But they turned it around. They got their groove back. Jacksonville got their groove back when Devin Lloyd ran that thing down 99 yards, penalty free. Thank God for a touchdown. A lot does not need to be said about Devin Lloyd. As soon as he ran that back, penciled him in. He's on the list. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So yeah, he's the first repeat defensive baller in series history. Devin Lloyd doing great work.
Approved.
Love to see it. And this defense down in Jacksonville is not to be slept on by any means. Let's get on to our second defensive baller of the week. A wise man once told me, if you come at the king, you better not miss.
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
And the Broncos didn't miss. They were able to defeat the previously undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, and they did it with their defense. And the second defensive baller of the week, I'm giving to Nick Bonitto. He had 2.5 sacks, 4 tackles, 3 of those solos, and 2 TFLs. That defense was doing great all around, but I'm going to highlight him because, hey, not a lot of guys are getting multi-sack games so far in this league. 2.5 is really good work, especially against the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, and especially with Jalen Hurts back there. He's a sneaky dude. Slippery fella. I watched him in Alabama, watched him at OU, and now that he's in the league, brother, don't sleep on his running ability. He's really good, and they managed to get to him 2.5 times. Let's see, they got 6 sacks total. Nick Bonitto responsible for 2.5 of those. I didn't really have to do a lot of research on this. Nick Bonitto was one of the best players on this defense. It was either going to be him or probably someone like PS2 or Talanoa Hufanga, but I'm going to give it to Nick Bonitto because I love a pass rush. I love hard work, and that kind of identifies grit to me. So Nick Bonitto is our second defensive baller of the week going into week 6 from week 5.
Approved.
Let's head to number 3. And I'm talking about a man down there in the bayou that ended up taking all of Jackson Dart's momentum and pissing on it. I'm talking about the second-year man, Kool-Aid McKinstry, the corner for the Saints. He had 2 interceptions against the Giants, and they were absolutely deflating interceptions. He had 4 tackles, 3 of those being solo, 3 passes defensed, including those 2 interceptions. Brother was everywhere. He was everywhere. Some people thought he might have been a little bit of a reach. Well, he went ahead and kicked that can down the curb for a little bit with this performance. You love to see it. A lot of Saints fans were worried about that momentum that Jackson Dart was bringing down to the bayou. But I did say, hey, that Superdome gets loud. That is a hard place to play for away teams. Those Saints fans show up rain or shine. They don't care if the team's good. They don't care if the team's bad. They show up for their boys. And Kool-Aid McKinstry showed up for the fans. 2 interceptions is great work. Maybe humbled Jackson Dart a little bit. And I've been kind of critical of the Saints. I'm really not a huge Spencer Rattler guy, and he's shutting me up too. He's playing pretty good. And then the defense I was worried about, Cam Jordan getting old, Demario Davis getting old. Are they going to be able to plug these gaps with younger guys? Well, I think they got themselves a corner. They sent Paulson Adebo to the Giants, and they had to fill that gap. Kool-Aid McKinstry seems to be doing just fine. Let's see if they keep targeting him or if they start throwing away from him now that he's proven that he'll hawk the ball if you're not careful. Kool-Aid McKinstry, third defensive baller of the week.
Approved.
Let's head on to number 4. Y'all know I love some old heads. Y'all know I love some veterans putting in work in a young man's game, showing people who's boss, showing people that just because you got some years on you don't mean you still ain't a dog. And I'm giving this one to Bobby Wagner, the ageless linebacker on the Commanders. Led the team with 14 total tackles, 8 of those being solo and a quarterback hit. Pretty sure that was second of all players this week, by the way. Bobby Wagner is absolutely going nowhere. It was either between him or Mike Sainristil still, but I'm gonna give the edge to the guy that got 5 more tackles than anyone else on the team. The next guy on the team had 9 tackles. B-Wags was everywhere. He was the reason why they really couldn't establish the running game. They couldn't really establish getting Justin Herbert a good pocket because, hey, he'll either rush the passer or he'll drop back into coverage. He's good at both. That ticker that's a Hall of Famer, 100%, just on his time in Seattle alone. And now he's over there with Dan Quinn and them doing great things on that defense. He's the leader of that defense for a reason, and they're only getting better, man. Iron sharpens iron, and his effort is sharpening that team. It's allowing the other players to get open. You got guys like Frankie Louvu. I would like to see Von Miller get a little bit of resurgence too. He had a sack and a half. He did pretty good. I want to see him, improve on that, prove that he's also not out, because I hate seeing players from my childhood retire. There's not a lot of them left. The only quarterbacks from my childhood left are Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, and I guess you can count Joe Flacco. That's it. Everyone else is gone. Then the defensive players are gone too. Bobby Wagner is one of the only old heads left from the Legion of Boom team. So yeah, old heads eating good today. He was essential in that win over the Chargers. The Chargers, a lot of people, including myself, were penciling them in to get to the divisional round, maybe even the AFC Championship game. And Justin Herbert's been humbled in back-to-back weeks now, and that's based in part from defensive efforts by guys like Bobby Wagner. So B-Wags is going to be our 4th defensive baller of the week.
Approved.
Let's round it out with number 5. And y'all thought just because I give one spot to a veteran, I'm not going to do another one? You're wrong. Your 5th defensive baller this week is Lavonte David, linebacker for the Buccaneers. Tied for the team lead in tackles with 9, 5 solo, and a TFL. He also had a pass defense, and the most clutch interception of the game. I sincerely believe that if Lavonte David does not make that interception, that the Buccaneers lose this game. It was absolutely critical to their efforts in coming back and getting down there, setting up Chase McLaughlin to kick the final go-ahead field goal with no time left. It was great to see, great to watch, love to see it. Lavonte David probably making a case for the Hall of Fame himself. He's been on some pretty good teams. Lavonte David might have a few rings on his tree, but he's showing these young kids what for. The effort, the passion, the dedication to keep grinding as a veteran is why he's on this list. Lavonte David is your 5th defensive baller of the week.
Approved.
So the list for defense, we start off with the first repeat defender ever in series history in Devin Lloyd, Nick Bonito, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Bobby Wagner, and Lavonte David. Our special teams list is flu game Chase McLaughlin, Ryan Wright, Eddie Pinheiro, Andy Borregales, and Joey Sly. So those are your offensive, defensive, and special teams ballers of the week for week 5. If you didn't watch the intro episode, at the end of the year, we're going to go back through all these tapes and we're going to find an all-ball team. I'm going to be using a veteran-owned company to make some baller bracelets for the players, and I'm going to mail them out to the players. Hopefully they see them, hopefully they wear them, maybe post a picture on Insta, but all the money is going to a good cause. It's going to the Till Valhalla Project. They're a company that donates to veteran-owned charities to help veterans get therapy, and they also donate custom-made plaques to the families of fallen soldiers for free. So follow along if you want to be involved in that. I'm not asking for money. I'm going to pay for everything myself. But spread the word. If y'all know anyone in the league, know any influencers that might have some sway with people in the league, spread the word. It's for a good cause. I really enjoy trying to emulate someone great like John Madden. I will never be John Madden, but I'd like to think that I can translate him to the modern day and try to replicate it as best as I can. That'll be it for this one. You are loved. All right. I know y'all might get tired of me saying it, but I'm gonna say it every time because sometimes you just need to hear it. You are loved. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you. Hey, subscribe for more. I need to do more calls to action, apparently. Subscribe for more. I'm going to try to post every day if I can help it, be it Madden, be it football, be it whatever. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to get this uploaded for y'all. Y'all have a good day. Take care.
Winning has always been in his DNA.
Loyalty got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece got war and peace inside my